Alright guys, what's going on? This is the 4th war of season 42, and today LVT is going to be facing 4 Loki. We faced them a couple times before. The first time that we faced them, we lost by, I think, 1, and we had a game crash happen during that war, so the second time we matched them we definitely wanted to win. And we did, and then so this is our 3rd time matching them. So just looking around at their defense, it looks like they are leaning pretty heavily into the global, like placing a lot of global defenders, which is fine. I think that the global is pretty weak, so we, like in my battle group, we don't place a ton of them. Just the really annoying ones. So looking around at their map, it looks pretty good. That toad placement, I'm going to take that fight with Omega Red, and it's actually kind of crazy, because with Omega Sentinel Band, there really aren't great options for that fight. You can't use Nimrod there. They changed the node. You know, you could use like Warlock or something, but eventually when he triggers enough of his regens, he's just going to end up being unblockable. So that's a good placement with an Omega Sentinel ban. The rest of it looked, you know, okay. Okay, so just a fair warning, I'm going to be quaking quite a bit of this war. I did fast forward through the Quake fights. I put them on double speed. I probably should have put them on like 4x speed. And I also should have used Omega Red for this fight. There was no reason for me not to use Omega here. I'm super rusty with Quake. I don't like using her. It's just kind of like, it just comes down to, I think when people, at least when I assign Quake, it's usually like a planning laziness type thing. If I don't want to think too deeply about like matchups or how to kind of like maneuver teams, I'll just assign Quake, and it works pretty well. So Rintra has a ton of health, but I do take him like fairly regularly on node 39. That's at the end of path 456 in section 2, and he's a lot scarier there. So yeah, I'm just gonna Quake him here, and super boring. Did make a mistake. I parried him once, got rooted in the corner, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter at all. That fight's over. It's about 2 minutes. This Nick Fury, I am obviously not gonna Quake. I'm gonna use Omega Red here. He makes this fight very, very easy. I think that maybe the reason that Rintra was on path 9, is because of Kingpin, because you want to knock him down with a heavy attack, and Kingpin has an unstoppable on his heavy, so you're going to feed his mystical charges. That's my guess, since Kingpin is whitelisted. And then Kingpin also isn't like the best for this fight, but Absorbing Man could have taken both of these. It just kind of worked out for me to go this way. So you can see I'm trying not to hit him too much when he's in Incinerate. But I am going to hit him to lock in Spores here, and I actually don't think he's going to throw a single special attack, I don't think he's going to throw a single special attack this entire fight. You can see it's almost over now. He still hasn't thrown one. We're about 50 seconds in, and yeah, he's just going to go down. So the Power Focus 1 actually helps Omega versus Fury here. But you obviously don't want Nick Fury throwing his special 1, so that's probably why he was there. And then this is going to be Steve's rank 5 Nova. This is Steve's favorite champion in the entire game. He chose him from an Abyss Nexus crystal back when those were like still a huge deal. I think like for 100%ing Abyss, he chose Nova. And then I think he was one of, if not his very first rank 4, and if I had to guess, I would assume he was probably his first rank 5 too, especially if he got a Cosmic 4-5 gem. So yeah, I'm just going to Quake him. There are like lots of other options here. Again, I could have just sent an Absorbing Man this way. The reason he's here is because of Power Reserve, and Nova gains power when he dashes back and forth. If you have a debuff on you, he's going to get a big Fury, so if and when he goes unblockable, it's That's gonna hurt pretty bad. There you can see I accidentally let off my heavy, but it doesn't really matter. We're about a minute into the fight and it's about to be over. And then after this, I'm gonna have one more Quake fight where I get my butt kicked a little bit, and then after that, I'm done with Quake for the war. So if you don't want to watch this stuff, just skip ahead. Okay, this is a rank 5 future Ant-Man. This is Justin's rank 5 future Ant-Man. He was actually in LVT from like the very beginning up until a couple seasons ago. I miss him a lot. He's such a great person. So I'm gonna Quake him. The issue with Quaking future Ant-Man, there's a few things. Number one, I am not like very good with Quake anymore. I used to be a lot better. Now I kind of, I know I'm not. The other issue is that depending on where he's put, like, depending on where Kabam, like, I don't know how it's decided, like, what arena you end up fighting in, but his suit kind of blends in a little bit with, like, the rocks in the background. So when he's punching, it's kind of hard for me, at least, to see like what he's doing. Quake is not the best answer here. She works, but actually Red Magneto is the way to go. I just didn't have him on my team, so decided to take this with Quake, and I was regretting it in the fight. I do have like a deathless streak going right now. I think I'm at like 200 and something fights. So I was feeling kind of early on in this fight like this was gonna end it, but it didn't. Got the solo. But I am done with Quake. So this is going to be a thing. This just is the node where like if you dash back twice, he's gonna regen. Unless he's heal blocked. Omega Sentinel is actually totally fine for this fight as long as you know how many hits all of her special attacks are. Or you could just build to the special 3, but if he's heal blocked, he's not going to get that unblockable. Here, just going to go ahead and lock in some spores. You can see it's been about 20 seconds. He is about to go down. And none of his specials require you to dash back twice in a row. There's enough time between both parts of his special too. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and pop an invulnerability boost for my next 2 fights. So this is going to be a man thing. I don't need an invuln for this fight, but I do need it for the next one. This is just going to be a man thing on Buffet. The reason he is here is because his pustules count as buffs. So if he throws a special attack, it's going to trigger the Buffet. He also goes unblockable after he like regenerates 10 times. So if he starts throwing specials in like when he's below 50%, since he's awakened, that's going to count also. So there's a good chance he goes unblockable here. However, I'm just not really going to let him throw specials. He threw one. I don't really care about that. The regen is pretty minimal, but he got 2 stacks of it. So here we go. Fight's almost over. Yeah, he's just going to go down. So very safe, very easy for Omega Red. And then this fight we talked quite a bit about. Normally I would send like an Omega Sentinel here. Obviously Nimrod is an obvious answer, but this has high energy diet, so if you use Nimrod, he's actually just going to time out. So I decided to use Omega Red. The fear in this fight is that he gets a bunch of prowess and his power just gets completely out of control. So I changed my masteries, I took all of my points out of the precision tree, and I'm only going to hit him when I have to. So you can see here, I'm trying to just push him to special 3, but the fight's actually going really well. And he's just kind of gonna melt. It's about 30 seconds, so very straightforward fight. Very quick, and then my final fight here is just going to be this Mantis on Stun Reflect. I don't really understand this placement. Mantis like has a chance not, like for your parries not to land. So on like Stun Reflect, it kind of takes away what, in my opinion, is the only risk about her kit. And the only thing that sucks about taking her with Omega Red here is that I can't really lock in spores. I could punish her heavy with mine, but I just didn't feel 100% comfortable doing it. Because she gets that big fury when she throws a heavy, so if I mess it up and like take a hit to the face or something, I would probably die. But yeah, her special 2 is super easy to deal with. The special, okay, so I remember this. I used a power start 1 for this fight, and the reason that I did that is because if she were to throw a special 1 and I get like the encroaching sleep, the only way to get rid of that, it's kind of like encroaching stun, if you guys remember that old node. You have to throw a special when it's expiring, when like the little encroaching sleep timer is expiring. So I figured this way I have one chance to make a mistake. Like if I let her throw the special 1, I could deal with that one time with a bar of power. So, but this is just kind of like a combo her down type of fight. The special 2 doesn't, I mean, it doesn't even, there's no reach on it at all. You don't have to get out of the way of it. So yeah, I mean, this fight is essentially over. You guys can see it's super easy. And the prowess actually helped push her to special 2. I kind of wish that I had put points back in the precision tree for this fight. Probably would have made it a little bit faster. And yeah, fight's over. So that was the end of the war. My battle group ended up getting our 2nd donut in a row, which never ever happens. And we ended up beating them as an alliance 3-6. Good war to these guys. Yeah, not much else to say. I do have a couple friends over there still. Shout out to my old battle group 3, Steve, you know, Legacy, Enzo. Love and miss all of you guys so much. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.